What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. So glad you could make it. Today, we're going to be going into YouTube and your questions, but there is going to be a little bit of a twist in here later. I've got a bit of a surprise for you all. Different dynamic that we're doing, and I think it's going to add a lot more value to you guys. So I'm super pumped for that. But let me just quickly say hello to It's Villager Bob. We've got Elvira, KK Moonlight is here. X Team Fishy is here. Nice to see you as well. We got Maurice. Awesome. Bonkers back here a little bit. How's it going? Paul, the CEO. We got some random person in here. Nice to see you as well. Yeah, so we're going to hop into just talking about YouTube. We want to answer your questions, but I am not alone for this live stream. So I'm going to turn the spotlight off, and I think you all will appear here. What is up, everyone? I've got three other people.
Oh my God, let's go.
So
What up,
maybe
Colin?
we'll go around the room here, do a quick 30-second introduction of who the heck are you people and why are you on my live stream? We'll go with Lalo. We'll start with the top and then we'll work our way down.
Bro, I am so excited to be here. The only thing I can focus on are those two huge play buttons right there in the background of your frame. I think a lot of us want one of those, right? So I am excited to be here. YouTube has been something that I've been passionate about since I was like 11 years old. And currently at 22, I feel like I am most passionate about YouTube than I've ever been. So yeah, I am a YouTube creator. I am a Clubhouse creator, and I just enjoy being here and talking about social media all the time. That being said, back to you, Colin.
Awesome. Annie, give us a quick 30-second introduction. I like that little dream sign in the background too.
Thank you, thank you. I am here in Florida. I'm a real estate agent. I have a YouTube channel. I'm also on all of the social medias, and I love YouTube. So I'm here to chime in and excited to be here.
Awesome. And then we got Mr. Luis. How are you, Luis?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Luis, and I got a YouTube channel and social media. My channel for you average consumer on mobile how-to tutorial and based on teaching people to leverage their mobile for a better tomorrow. And I'm also in Clubhouse. That's one of the best social media audio. With that said, back to you, Colin.
Yeah, so you might have noticed from everyone, we're all Clubhouse based. So if you're not in Clubhouse yet, you need to be on Clubhouse, which is like social audio. Like you can actually the way you could think of it, and I don't know why I'd never explained this to people before. Think of it like a Zoom call, but like audio only. Like I feel like that's probably the easiest. I used to explain it like it's a podcast, but you can go on stage on the podcast and go down. Like it's really confusing to explain it, but it's like just picture a Zoom call. You can unmute. You can talk to other people. They can talk back. Kind of like a group phone call-esque, but yeah, it's a great experience. Great way to connect with other creators and stuff like that. And that's how they kind of ended up over here to where we're going to talk YouTube and things related to that. There you go. He's got it. Let me feature you. Clubhouse. Let's see. How do I make it bigger? There we go. Clubhouse. That's the app you need to download.
Let's go.
And then you get to talk to all of us. You can unmute, you can ask questions, and we do normally Monday through Friday we do rooms. All of us throughout the week. There's always rooms going on talking YouTube where you can further grow your channel. So that's my Clubhouse plug there. But we are here to hopefully answer your YouTube questions. So if you do have a question regarding YouTube, drop it in the chat. Not only will you hear from me, but some of these other creators up here who've done some awesome stuff across different platforms. Not only just YouTube. We've got Mr. Clubhouse icon, Lalo, who's done amazing things on that app. Annie has been uploading tons of shorts. She's also been uploading Instagram Reels. And then we got Luis on the tech side, who can, maybe if we get some technical questions regarding YouTube, Luis is going to be our guy to answer that as well. But yeah, I'm super pumped for this. So let's see if we've got any questions here in the chat. Here we go. This might be a good one. So Flood YT says, I need help. I don't get any views on my vids, and I watch all the vids on how to get more, but they don't work. So this is a loaded question. There's a lot of things we could probably hop into. So let's maybe, I'm trying to think of a good way to to do this kind of format because I'm not used to having tons of people on the live stream. What would be some tips if you're struggling to get views? What are some things that Flood YT could try? I'll mute and let one of the people up on stage take this.
Sure. All right. So, tips for getting views. I think that trying to watch all these videos on YouTube about how to get views can only get you so far because the most important part about making videos is actually making the videos and perfecting your craft. But then beyond that, like beyond just, making your videos, you have to think about who you're trying to reach, right? So, if I'm trying to reach say I had a technology channel and I'm trying to reach people, say in their 20s, maybe college people, who knows, maybe people around that demographic, then I have to speak in a way that I'm targeting those people. I have to make my videos in a way that appeals to them. I have to edit them in a way that appeals to them. And most importantly, because you can only edit so much, right? But if you don't make a really good title and thumbnail that speaks to that audience, then that is naturally not going to get any views. So really focusing on creating titles that are very simple to understand, that appeal to a lot of people, and then beyond that, making a thumbnail that will get people to, like actually feel intrigued or maybe feel an emotion. Like say you see a thumbnail randomly, it catches your attention, it's colorful, it has very little text, and then you like, how do I say this? Like you see it and it immediately makes you ask yourself a question subconsciously. You're probably very likely to click on that video. And then if the editing, if the value proposition is, strong, you're probably going to watch all the way through. And honestly, I think it just comes down to figuring out exactly your target audience and then also figuring out how you can potentially reach people outside of that target audience and broadening that, whatever content that you're doing so that it can appeal to more people. That's what I would say to begin with. I would love to toss it over to anybody else.
Okay, I'll take over from the tech side. And when you do, you don't need to break the bank because you need to master your equipment, what you have. It's not about getting the latest and greatest because if you're beginner and you're not there with your skills, then your video's not going to look clear. The most important thing that I learned, besides what Lalo says, is audio. Without audio, people are going to turn it off. You could start with this, basically a phone. These days, any phone within 4 years, it'll get you anywhere. And invest on a lavalier mic and then work on the other key components of what Lalo says, and you will go far. And first of all, learn the basics, hone the basic skills from A to C, and then work with that. I'm done speaking. I'll pass it to you back, Colin.
Yeah, and I think something important, especially with not getting views right out the gate, and you've been watching videos, I feel like one thing I don't see a lot of guru channels focus on, like I feel like more people focus on the audience retention before they focus on getting like someone to click. So I think if you spend some more time on that front, so like kind of like what Lalo was saying, where it's like your title and your thumbnail and also the topic you're choosing, because you can have the greatest video in the world, and that is an important part. Once you get people to click, you need to get them to watch your video. But I would definitely put focus on, all right, how do I choose a good topic for my video? And part of that is knowing your audience, but then also writing a persuasive title, making a custom thumbnail. Don't just do a screen grab. It has to be a custom thumbnail that you've designed, and go from there. I think that's going to be, what would be a better problem to have is a 50% click-through rate and no one sticking around and watching, because then you can always work on that part. But if you don't have that crazy click-through rate yet, and I've seen people have some pretty good click-through rates, I feel like that's a better place to start. So I would personally focus on like topic, title, and thumbnail, put more focus there. And maybe look at your competitors, look at people in your niche and what they are doing, and get inspiration from them. What are their top performing videos? How do people who are successful in my niche design thumbnails? I should probably learn those skills or learn to be able to produce similar styled thumbnails, or at least thumbnails on par with them. That'd be my thoughts.
Love to add one more thing. So another thing to keep in mind is that leaving your title and thumbnail as an afterthought, and because I have that feeling too, right? Like you just spent hours editing your video, you just worked really hard on making a really good high quality video. You're like, I just want to get it up already. But honestly, I mean, even when you're starting out, but especially once you finally start getting some traction, that first hour, maybe 2 hours of your video being up is crucial for you to know whether that video is going to perform. Maybe if you're just getting started, you have nobody watching your videos, it won't really make a big difference. But I promise you, as soon as you get a few hundred people watching your videos, they turn on the bell, they watch right away. You're going to want to make sure that your video is really taking off at the very beginning and that people see it and they want to click on it. So honestly, as much as you feel the desire to already post that video, make sure that your thumbnail and title is not an afterthought. And even if you literally have to wait till like the next day for you to post your video, I think it is worth it if you can post it with a really strong title thumbnail combo. I know it sounds extremely cliche, we say it all the time, but it's honestly the main most important component for you to even get someone to click. Because what would be the point of making a 15-hour video that took you so long to edit and then no one watches it? So I think not rushing to post is very important, and being very strategic with your the way that you upload, the way that you market your video, like maybe even building up that hype. Like for example, if you have followers on Instagram, you can also let people know, hey, like at 3 p.m. I'm gonna be dropping a video about so and so, right? And so by doing that, you already have people waiting, anticipating to watch it as soon as it goes live. So I just wanted to give that tip because I think that can also be very helpful as well. So back to you, Colin.
Awesome. And with that, this is also a good question to move into, as we were talking about thinking about that thumbnail and that title before you even film the video. The Pickin' Preacher says, custom thumbnail, should I take a picture outside of the video or take a picture from the video, or does that matter as long as I edit it? What are your guys' thoughts? Just take a screen grab and roll with it, or what?
No, I would say take a picture, or if you're going to get like a screen grab from the video, you can do that like through, like, let's say you're using the whatever editing app you're using, then you can download that specific frame. I mean, that's a way to do it, but I would recommend doing it definitely outside of the video. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think doing it outside, and there'd be a few different ways to do it. You could always do it like right after you finish the video. Maybe it's you have something right in front of you. Like I know you do some reselling stuff, Pickin' Preacher. So maybe you have a whole like haul of stuff where taking a photo right with all that stuff is better. But I also have found sometimes just having a photo shoot of images that you can use for thumbnails. Yeah. So for me, I usually have like colorful backgrounds for mine. So I'll go on a photo shoot and I'll do the whole point here, shock face, angry face. And I'll go through all the different, faces and stuff like that. And then I'll use something like Photoshop or Canva or background.bg, which can remove the background from your photo. And then, I can have a colorful background. I could, maybe cut out an item that I'm talking about, or have text on screen, or have an app icon. And just having that stock of photos is kind of useful for me when I'm designing like thumbnails.
And I would like to add one more thing on that. If you're doing all that Colin said, evoke an emotion on that. Just tell a story through your thumbnail. Like, I'll give an example. Say I want to talk about something bad about the iPhone 14. So I could go like this, oh no, and point like this, or, stuff like that. So entice the audience, be like, oh, wait a minute, something's wrong. While he's covering his face and pointing down like it's no bueno. So therefore people be like, oh, I'm curious. Get the curiosity factor, and that might help to entice the audience to be like, oh, I want to watch more, because it's like a storytelling. You're grabbing them through the actual thumbnail. I'm done speaking. Back to you, Colin.
And maybe something interesting to go into, just with everyone up here. What about thumbnail mistakes? What are some common problems you see or have encountered, or maybe you've made in the past? Because I know I've made plenty of thumbnail mistakes. What are some things that you've either learned or you've seen other people do that might not be a good idea to have in your thumbnails?
Definitely do not put a lot of text. Do not repeat everything your title says on your thumbnail through text. If anything, your thumbnail should be a complement to whatever you wrote in your title. So if your video is about, you know, 15 gadgets you should use to make better videos, something like that, then you probably want to put in your thumbnail something like best gadgets, or are they worth it, or unbelievable. I mean, you're really just adding to whatever your title says. So honestly, repeating everything word for word on your thumbnail would not really make a lot of sense. So I would say use that space in your thumbnail and maybe 2 to 3 words maximum to add more shock value or to prompt a question. You can use questions marks, you can use exclamation marks, and that way you can take advantage of that space instead of just reiterating what's already visible on your title. In fact, let's remember the first thing people are going to notice of your video is the thumbnail. So maybe your thumbnail has to say something like that really creates intrigue, and then your title just gives context to that. That would be one mistake that I used to make, and I definitely encourage people not to do.
And I would like to add one more thing to very important. When you do your thumbnail, be mindful for different devices. And like if you're doing it for a mobile device, there's some in the bottom, there's some stuff over here that do not cover. It's like the timestamp. So when you're writing your thumbnail, doing all the wonderful edits and everything, be mindful of the spacing where the words goes. And like Lalo said, don't put too much word. But remember, if the time or something's covering the actual words that you're saying, then people are not gonna see it. So be mindful of different medium of where you post your thumbnail. I'm done. Back to you, Colin.
I would add one more thing to that is the text as well, like small. Try to not do small little text because when you see it on mobile, it might look good to you on your desktop, but on mobile it looks really tiny. So make sure that you're mindful of the text being big enough to where you can see it on mobile and maybe test it out on mobile and see what it looks like. And then also the style of text, nothing too crazy on the text because then people cannot read it. So that would be my tip. Back to you, Colin.
And I think two mistakes I've made. I know I said share one, so I'm being bad. But one is having like any unnecessary elements. And the reason I bring up this one is because I was recently auditing a channel and I noticed that they had a lot of unnecessary elements. Like they had a subscribe button in the thumbnail itself, which doesn't necessarily need to be there, or they had their full name in the thumbnail. It's like, what purpose does this serve, having your entire full name inside of the thumbnail? So just having the elements that are needed to communicate the value that's in the video, or enough elements to communicate curiosity in the video. And the second thing I've encountered was I used to make myself, like I'd take a picture of myself and maybe it'd be like me here, like waist high, and I'd just move myself to the side and that's it. And most people would be like, okay, yeah, you're in the thumbnail, but I was tiny. If you looked at me on something like a mobile device, like I was so far away, you couldn't really see my eyes, you couldn't really recognize my face because there's so much distance between me and the thumbnail. If you now look at how I usually do my thumbnails now, like my face is super zoomed in and super close. So anyone, whether on a mobile device or they're on a computer and there's tons of different thumbnails all over the place, they can see my face very clearly. And if you look at it, even like other people like Mr. Beast, like you see his head really up close and it's really big because there's that recognition factor. And if you kind of keep doing that, your face is constantly in those thumbnails. People are like, oh, I know that person. I recognize that face. I know this channel. And that can kind of stand out amongst a lot of different videos. So make sure you are your face or you're close up to the camera. If you got Photoshop, you can just cut yourself out and increase the size so you're really big and up close on the thumbnail. But just make sure that, you know, if you're going to show yourself, that you are close to the camera.
And can I have one more thing? Be mindful
Yeah, absolutely.
when you wear glasses because of reflections. See, like me, I'm trying to get rid of that, but it's difficult. So when you do your thumbnail, if you throw pictures because you need glasses and you're putting yourself there, be mindful for that because it also could be a distraction because it would be the glare. So that's back to you, Colin.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's one I don't encounter. But yeah, keeping an eye on the reflection of your glasses, or that might be a good opportunity to do some, you know, take some photos separate from wherever you're doing, so you can make sure there's no reflection in your glasses when you're taking those photos. And then if you're able to potentially reuse those, you know, then you don't have to worry about, you know, with every new thumbnail you take, you're like, the reflection of the glasses. So that's great.
Or wear contacts.
What was that, Annie?
Or wear contacts like I do.
There you go.
Yes, there you go. That'll solve it too. All right. I see Mr. K is late, and Elvira is calling out Mr. K. You're late, Mr.
What up, Mr. K?
Yo.
Mr. K in the house.
Sheesh.
This is some great information. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome from the other side of the fence. Let's see what Paul CEO says. I have just started some new channels, and they are faceless because of personal reasons. How could I make thumbnails with this style and know when to upload, since I'm under subscribers to look in my and it seems like it got cut off a bit. But if you are doing, I feel like with a faceless channel, you're then focusing on whatever you're covering. Like, I guess it all depends on your niche. Like, maybe you're a faceless product review channel, then I feel like the emphasis would be on the product. Would you guys agree with that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it all depends on whatever niche you're in and doing. But yeah, it's still doable. Like, if you go on YouTube, you'll still see thumbnails out there where the person's face isn't on there. But I do think it's kind of a branding thing. Like when someone clicks on one of my CapCut tutorials, and on the suggested tab, they see the guy with the exact same face there. They're like, oh, it's the same guy. I'm watching his tutorial. Here's another one of his videos. I feel like there's kind of that branding connection if you put your face there and people recognize it. But maybe something else you could do. I've seen some people do, like, in the corner, like they'll have like a little logo or something like that, or some kind of symbol in the corner that doesn't necessarily block the thumbnail, but is a way where people can recognize that this is the same creator. I know Evan Carmichael from the motivational channels, he's got like multiple of them. He'll use the same branding in like the bottom left section. So that way everyone's like, oh, it's one of his motivational videos. This is an Evan Carmichael video. So, you know, that could be something you could attempt.
Hey, Colin. Is it okay if I answer a question that Daylene put in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so she was wondering, how do you break the ice with your audience? Because apparently she has not posted a video in a while. I am gonna say I don't even want to call it a mistake, but I just think that after really thinking about it and also understanding more of how YouTube itself works, I'm like, why did I do that, right? Like, I literally made a couple videos on my Spanish channel being like, you know, I'm back, or, you know, making a video explaining why I left and giving everybody like a full-blown update on my life. And then I thought about it. I'm like, I don't think people really care that much about why I wasn't posting videos. I think they would just rather me come back with a really high quality video pertaining to my niche instead of just like a live update video. And if you feel like doing a live update video, by all means do that. But I think after I did a couple of those and I saw how people reacted, I think it would have just been better to, instead of spending time doing that, just make a video, really, really good video on whatever my niche, my topic of my channel is. And I think people would just rather appreciate watching the content that they even got to know you for, as opposed to a live update. And I think that if people are going to really complain about you not posting videos, they're going to do it either way. Whether you make a live update, you break the ice, or whether you actually just get back to making a regular video. I know some people may think like, wow, how could you come back and after not posting and not even address it? But honestly, like from a retention standpoint, from just being a creator and understanding that you have a life too and you have things going on too, and not everything is about making videos, because things happen. Like sometimes health stuff happens, sometimes family. I mean, literally there are 1,001 reasons why you couldn't post a video, and I think people need to be understanding of that. So I would honestly, me personally, just skip those breaking the ice videos, and just like, for example, for you, Dailin, you could do something really, really good edited, like something within your niche about life in Kentucky. So that's what I would say about that question. But I love to hear if you, Colleen, Luis, or Annette have a different point of view.
I feel like I feel the same way, where I wouldn't necessarily post something about it. Like, well, at least I have the community tab, so
Right.
I can always do like a community tab post and be like, "Hey, coming back," or "Hey, I'm working on something." But there have been instances where I hadn't posted in like a month or so. Actually, January was one. Like from January
Mm.
1st to like 28. Other than these live streams, like I didn't post content. I guess live streams count. But yeah, I don't necessarily feel like, I feel like they'll just be happy to see you. And if YouTube recommends them, they're like, "Oh my gosh, Dalen finally posted again. Let's go!" And they're gonna click on your video and just be happy that they're finally seeing some new content. But yeah, so we will hop to some of these other questions here too. I see some awesome ones in here that we can jump on. But let me really quick uh, do some. What's his face says? I can't think of it. But this live stream is sponsored by Melon. If you guys have not checked them out yet, they have been a sponsor of this live stream for how many months? It's been like 3 months or so, and they keep sponsoring this live stream. And they allow you to live stream in just 5 clicks. That is what we are doing right now, where we can have multiple people up on stage. We can pull up comments, pull up little graphics and things like that. If you want to check them out, you can sign up for free by clicking the link down below in the description. If you want to get some of the more premium features, you can always do that, but you can sign up for free. So doing so as well also supports the channel. So I do appreciate it when you guys do that. And thank you, Melon, for sponsoring this live stream. Really great to have you guys as a sponsor. All right. And yes, the Melon's in the chat. Let's go. We got Paul
Let's
CEO. We got
go.
Bunkers. We got Mr. K. Starika. Hello. Nice to see you. Annette got to her phone and was able to drop the Melons in the chat. I like how the comment appears right over where your screen is, Annette. We got Guy. I cannot pronounce that, but thank you. Just Lauricia says, "Hey, Annette. You're famous, Annette. People know who you are in here."
Man,
Hi.
I'm telling you, Annette has fans, bro, for real.
Yeah,
I
I'm
agree.
clout chasing. That's why she's in my live stream here. I need the
Gotta do it, man.
awesome. All right, I saw an interesting one, and I don't think Angie's in down below. I at least haven't seen an Angie comment, but I did see this. Should I use ChatGPT for my titles? I say yes. I run all my, well, not all my
Mhm.
titles, but the majority of my titles. If I'm making like a serious video that I want to perform and go viral, I'll just run it through ChatGPT, see if it gives me some different ideas and inspires me. Like I'll usually do something like write 10 video titles for this period, and then I'll just copy and paste whatever title idea I had, and then just see what it pumps out. And sometimes it does good stuff, sometimes it doesn't. What are your guys' thoughts? Using AI, is it worth it?
I would use it, honestly. I've used it before, for like social audio content, and it's worked pretty well. People actually click on the rooms and they join. So I think not relying on it fully, but still using it as a tool. Like, okay, like I have an idea. I'm gonna write down my idea. Let it just give me like 10 titles, and then craft my own title based on those 10 ideas. Is what I would do. Yeah.
I have
Luis, Annette, have you guys messed with ChatGPT at all?
I haven't used it for YouTube titles, although I would totally do that. But I have used it for a possible ebook that I am working on, and it blew my mind what it gave me. So very impressed with Chat GPT, and I think everyone should definitely try it. At
Yeah,
least,
I agree. Because
like,
for me, I tell people to use it as an assistant. Don't take every word for it because it's not 100% correct all the time. But and then like Lalo said, craft your own title based on that. And also, was it another question in the chat about GPT? If it's free, yeah. If for now it's free, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's the
Back to
catch.
you, Colin.
I just opened up ChatGPT today, and it was like, now there's ChatGPT Plus, and you'll get access to newer features, and you'll get priority access. So I'm glad that they at least have it that way, because I thought what was going to happen was they're going to be like, oh, now it's $40 a month, pay up, and it'd be like, yo, I'm not going to pay $40 for just running my titles through ChatGPT. I'll wait for someone else to come out with a similar version. But thankfully, it's still free, and there's just now a premium version of it, which
and how
I
much
could
is
love.
the premium?
I didn't see. I tried to click learn more, but it didn't load up. But from what I heard, I heard they were trying to go more expensive, but I don't know how much the plus was.
Damn.
So I'm sure we'll find out eventually here. All right, let's see what else we've got here. If you are just joining, feel free to drop questions down in the chat. I've got awesome people up here to answer your YouTube questions. If you're sick of me, I've got some new voices up here and some new faces. So, hey, what are we pointing around for?
Oops, I'm thinking wrong.
I don't know. Whatever.
I wonder if your guys' layout is the same as my layout.
Who am I pointing at right now, Colin? Who am I pointing
Pointing
at?
at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the same for everyone. So
So am I
same.
pointing? Am I pointing at Luis?
Yes.
Or no? Okay,
yeah.
then
Yep.
right there.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
It
That's
is
my
lined
boy
up.
Luis. That's Annette.
Paul
Oh, there
said
we go.
vidIQ does have their AI chat thing. I haven't messed around with that yet. I wonder, is it similar to ChatGPT? Have you used both, Paul, the CEO? I'm curious. I've seen it because I have like the free version of vidIQ, and they're always like, you have 3 credits you can use to have AI help you generate a title, but I never really touched it or messed with it. And also Kajabi, which is like what I use for my course and stuff. They have an auto sales generator and like email typer with AI that I've got to mess around with a bit and see how well that does. I heard a lot of people try it out where they'll just like send a sales letter and it writes in a few seconds and they just click send and then they got sales from it, which I thought was.
And you know who else is doing the same thing? Microsoft Bing is trying to go that same route as ChatGPT.
Microsoft as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be the next few years is going to be the years of AI and a whole bunch of crazy
The
tools out
takeover,
there.
man. I'm
Pretty
telling
soon,
you.
Pretty soon, Apple will jump on it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Siri's gonna. You'll just be able to talk to Siri as you talk to ChatGPT. That'd be the way to go.
Bro, honestly, I hope so because like Apple always, like they take forever to jump on trends, but obviously when they do, they low key like they do a pretty darn good job. So I think everyone could probably agree on that. Hopefully, maybe not everyone, but I think that would be the revolution if like Siri goes from what it is today, which is not good, like compared to like Google Assistant or Alexa, for example, and they just randomly like maybe next iOS update or the update after that, like they just turn it into like a Chat GPT type of AI assistant. I think that'd be the most coolest thing ever.
Apple, listen to us. Pick up
They
this
are.
live stream.
They're listening to us, Colin. You already
Oh
know.
right, yeah.
They are, yeah.
ChatGPT.
Are we all Apple? No Android?
I think we're all Apple on here.
Yep.
Drop a comment
go.
in the chat if you're Android or iOS, so we can.
Right, we're gonna
can
start
see
that
where we
debate in the
stand.
chat.
What
Comment
is it?
Gotta
below.
promote that
Blue
engagement, bro.
bubble, green bubble. What is it? Blue bubble.
Blue bubble, green bubble, yeah.
Yeah.
Blue bubble, green bubble. Let us know. We'll see. We'll see the battle go on below. I cannot pronounce this name. Liras says, "Hey Colin, so I posted some Luigi shorts on my channel. and they all exploded and got me 31 subscribers. Is that a sign to spend thinking of great topics? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, but if you have shorts that are blowing up, and I guess it all depends, define blowing up, because if blowing up is I got 1,000 views, I feel like 1,000 views is pretty normal for a regular short. But if you're getting something like, I feel like what are your guys' thoughts? What do you think a blow up short would count as? Would that be like, I feel like if I got 50,000 views, I'd be like, oh wow, this blew up, versus like, 10,000 or 5,000. But I'm curious, what do you guys think?
My highest performing short was like 25,000. So don't ask me. Mine's haven't gotten like hundreds of thousands. But listen, 25,000 for me is going viral, and it motivated me to just keep going. So I would say, like, if you're saying that you got 31 subscribers off of one short, then just keep doing the same thing, and you're gonna keep seeing growth. Just keep going and do it every single day. Don't stop, and you'll definitely at least do a test and see. And I would definitely recommend just keep doing it.
Yeah, I think you can still, I would still do idea brainstorms when it comes to shorts. Like really do brainstorm what you're doing and experiment. And when something works, keep going at it. Like right now, I am definitely experimenting with shorts. If anyone saw my last short, it's definitely not among my normal content because I did it to music. But I'm just throwing stuff and seeing if it sticks. And if something does perform really well, it's a sign for me. I'm going to keep making more like this. So you looking, Lalo? You looking? Baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to
No,
say,
I wasn't sure if you were like looking up my short to see what I did. It's kind of slightly embarrassing short, but
I just wanted to add one more thing to that. When you were saying just like try to, what is it that you said with the short? I would say my advice would be like try different things, like try the green screen, try going shorter, try going longer, like try different things and see what resonates with your audience. And then just keep doing those things, or what type of content, whether it's like entertainment or educational, what's resonating with your audience, and then just double down on that and just keep doing it. And then you're going to see a lot of growth. So that would be my advice. Back to
absolutely.
you, Colin.
All right, let's see. This has Starika. This has a lot of big words. Once they solidify quantum entanglement principles, then our computers will become exponentially more powerful. That's a lot of big words in there, Starika.
I'm confused, bro.
Solidify quantum entanglement.
I feel it's like a college class.
Is a what?
Like a college class.
Right? Cloud Quest level words there.
I just lost like 1,000 brain cells right now. It's crazy.
And that high voice Lalo is convincing me to get the Roadcaster, so I can switch to funny voices. Chanzamia's Kitchen, that was my best attempt there, asks, hi everyone, is it necessary to have an intro in your video? Thanks. I believe that's intro. What do you guys think? Does there need to be an intro for your video? Annette says no.
Yeah.
Lalo says no. Luis says no. What? No intros? Why?
What do you say, Colin?
I say burn them. Get rid of the intros. I think the only intro you might want to have is a hook. So something in the beginning of the video that encourages people to watch till the end. Now, that could be a whole list of things. That could be, one way people do this is listicle videos. Sometimes people want to sit till the end of a video to hear all the tips or to hear all the, all the numbers of what you're talking about. But having something in the beginning where it's like, just probably think in your head, what can I say or show in the beginning of my video that's going to encourage someone to finish this video. Because if it's just an intro, like a lot of intros don't give enough context as to what's going on. Like if it's just a branded intro and you've got yourself all over the place and you got your name and you got a subscribe button that pops up, like there's just not enough information there. I feel like people are just gonna, skip off. And you can always look at your analytics and you'll probably see that too, that your audience retention will drop whenever there's like an intro or like right at the beginning. So I would focus on how can I, at the very few seconds, first 5 to 15 seconds, encourage people to, be hooked in and keep watching, whether that's adding value or it's showing some of the entertainment value that might come later on potentially. I think something like that.
Yeah, I agree because I think your first 7 seconds is the most important to grab the attention of the viewer. Because if you're doing like an intro, that takes away from the. If it's not, because my friend do an intro, but he also explained, he give what is the content of the actual video. But if you're doing a generic intro, I think that take away from the actual content. For me, I like to get the proper position value in 7 minutes and hook the audience. Back to you, Collins. I'm done.
Awesome. Bonkers has a question. Second time asking this, is starting a series about requests a good way to start getting interaction and comments and likes? Can you define what exactly you mean, Bonkers, about requests? Like your audience requests certain things and you do it? Kind of sounds like, if you can clarify that. But I do think doing series content is a great strategy, because then you could potentially create bingeable content. Whether it's, I think you were asking, a series about requests, a good way to start getting interactions. Because series content, when someone comes across any part of that series, they want to watch the full series so they can go back and watch more of those videos. And I attempted to do that with my CapCut videos. Like I had my CapCut Basics and I had CapCut Advanced and I had CapCut just added this tracking feature. And I even have how to make an intro in CapCut, even though I don't believe you should have an intro. Still taught people how to do it because some people want to make an intro regardless of whatever the best practices are. Request edit ideas on my shorts. I mean, you could try it out. Like they say, Ohio versus Alabama and Boss, Monkey versus SpongeBob, and so on. I mean, hey, try it. Give it a shot, I would think, and see what happens. And if it works and people are engaging with that content, like I feel like the way shorts works or even long form videos work is when you watch something on a certain topic and you show interest in that, it usually recommends more of that topic. So when I watch one person play the game I'm obsessed with right now, which is Age of Empires 2, all my shorts become Age of Empires 2, or the majority of them. And I see different creators who are uploading content in that same area. So if you got a series and it starts working, obviously keep that series going. I think that'd probably be the best advice there.
I agree with that.
Oh, and Cage. Yeah. Is 20% retention good? What do you guys think?
Do you want the, what answer do you want?
I just want you to yell at him because he's my brother. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
20% retention is not the best. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. You probably want to aim for at least 50. Obviously, it depends on how long your video is. But then again, if you have enough content to make a 1 hour long video, then ideally, it should be engaging all the way through. Like we should never be making videos shorter than they need to be, but also never make them longer than they need to be. Even if you're trying to get that 8 minutes so you can get those mid-roll ads, it's not worth it. I promise you. I literally did this in the past. I've done it. Retention is just plummets after you actually run out of content, and people can tell. Even if it's not directly, they subconsciously know that you're trying to stretch the video. So I think just focusing on making every bit of the video like where you're taking the story or the content forward, you're never repeating yourself, you're eliminating all the fluff. Use everything at your disposal to make the video engaging, like add graphics on screen, add b-roll. Like honestly, it might be more effort, but it is worth it, and you will see the results of taking the time to shoot that extra b-roll to have it on top of your video when people actually don't have a chance to get bored because there's something happening on screen at all times. So depending on the nature of your content, that could be a way to better your retention, because we got to get more than 20%, guys. It's gotta happen. If we trying to blow up, YouTube is going to measure viewer satisfaction to determine whether that video should be pushed out to more people, and audience retention is, or average view duration would be, one of the main components that contributes to that. So any thoughts, Luis, Annette, or Colin?
No, I agree.
Mhm.
And just something to throw a little monkey wrench in there, just because I know this is my brother and he's probably just messing with it. He said, "You're like, bro, what?" And he said 50%. But here's the fun monkey wrench here. I'm going to share my screen here. So this is the video
Bruh.
that has 2.4 million views. If I go over to my audience retention, where is that? Let me find that again. Take a look at this audience retention. At like 2 minutes in, it's at 37%. And then like at 4 minutes, it's only at 20% audience retention. Yet this is my video with 2.4 million views. How is that possible?
Because of the packaging, I think.
It could be the packaging. My theory with it too is that I'm only competing with the other videos on that topic. So when someone looks up CapCut tutorial and it shows CapCut tutorials, if the rest of them have 10% audience retention and mine's 20% at that mark, they're going to be like, oh, well, this guy is satisfying the viewer better than these other videos out there, so we can, serve them out there. But I always found that funny. With some of my bigger videos, they don't have the greatest audience retention. They have high impressions though, because even though the click-through rate is kind of wrecked at that point, the impressions are still going up, which is good. But I always find that funny.
Can I answer one question, if you don't mind, Colin, that I saw? It's
Yeah.
from I Watch YouTube. He says, for gaming channels, what are some good ideas for shorts ideas? If you're talking about a particular game, teach tips and tricks about that game in very short bites. Well, I learned this tips and tricks to better myself, to, if it's a shooting game, to shoot better and so far on. If you're playing like a tip of the day within that game, that's a good idea for shorts in gaming category.
Yeah, and also, like, this is the advice I gave my siblings and Cage. I told to do this. Like, go and watch also videos and shorts in your niche and learn from those people who are being successful in those. Like, you'll find those tip videos in there. You're going to find people doing like funny skits. You're going to find, a whole bunch of different things within that game related to shorts. And so you can take inspiration from that. And you can also potentially, even though this isn't something I've seen too much on the short side, but I've seen.
Thank you.
What I've seen is, what was I trying to say? Darn it. I've lost my train of thought. The train has crashed. But what I have seen with shorts is you see those, you don't see trends as much. That's where I was going with this. Trends. Like, you don't see trends as much on shorts. You see trends on like TikTok, but I think trends are going to end up coming to shorts, or certain, maybe there is a creator out there in the gaming space who has a series going on that is super successful that you might be able to replicate or learn from. I know, at least on TikTok, like, I don't know if anyone here, let me know in the comment section if you know who Nadia is from like Call of Duty Warzone content. But Nadia had like this style where she would have this hook at the beginning of her video, and it'd be like a clip of her above the gameplay, and then the gameplay would start. And now everyone in the Call of Duty Warzone community does that exact same thing, and it works. So they like saw what Nadia was doing. And they're like, dang, she's getting like 2 million likes. She's getting millions of views. We're going to do that exact same kind of format. And now I see it constantly. It's slightly bothersome, but it's working for them. It's working for the people they're trying to reach. So yeah, definitely do that as well, I would think. All right. Well, we are at 51 minutes here, so we're probably only going to go 9 minutes more. Real quick, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor here for the second time, which is Melon. If you haven't checked them out yet, they allow you to live stream in just 5 clicks. And one of the reasons I decided to reach out to Melon and pitch them and get them as a sponsor is because they had a focus on helping people, newer creators who wanted to go live streaming but didn't want to get into all the complexities of a lot of the other softwares out there. So they're like, hey, let's make a live streaming software for beginners that makes it easy and also packs powerful features. So that connected with me. That's why I got them as a sponsor. They're really awesome platform for live streaming. You can have guests up like I'm doing right now. You can have the graphics appear on screen. Really awesome software for live streaming. So definitely check them out. Sign up. It's a great way to help support the live stream is by, hey, hopping on. And also, if you're trying to hit that 4,000 hours of watch time, live streaming is a great way to do it because you can get a bunch of viewers on a live stream and then you get prolonged watch time. So definitely check them out. Link is down below in the description. And with that,
Colin, can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
I just want to say this. I'm not even sponsored by Melon myself, but I am here as a guest in this live stream. And the user interface that I have right now, I have the chat from the Melon window here on the side. I can look at everybody's comments. I have all my controls at the bottom. And just like the way everything looks so seamless and such a great user experience. So honestly, even like if you're trying to get your own guests, like I promise Colin didn't even ask me to say this. Like I legitimately like when we do just our regular hangout sessions, we actually use Melon for that too because it allows us to to have everything so seamless. And I can see on screen exactly what you guys see. And I'm sure Colin has like a director's window with all the different windows that he's like moving, like switching from, like where we see the 4 of us and then to myself and then maybe to Luis and then maybe to Annette. So I think it's pretty cool. I just want to point that out there because honestly, Melon is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree because me and they have Melon too. So I use it 100% in my live streams.
Yeah, it's
Melon's the way to go.
It's so easy to navigate it too. Like, and yeah, so
I love it.
Awesome. And JF didn't know about that, about the live streaming. Great tip. Yes. Get that watch time up. It's a good way to do it. Or maybe you don't want to, I don't know how effective this would be, but I've seen other channels do it where they'll have a live going on, but they'll just play their content in kind of like a 24-hour loop. And I've seen people just sit in those live streams or they'll just join throughout the day. And it's kind of like them just flipping on a channel. Now, that doesn't work in every niche. Like I'm not going to have a 24-hour stream of my CapCut tutorials. But on the entertainment side, I've seen those 24-hour channels work really well where it's like you can just kind of click on it, plays on the TV. I don't have to worry about switching to a different like YouTube video at the end. It's just this constant roll of like entertainment. So definitely check it out. Hello, who are these people? I just joined. So we are joined with, how do I say all y'all? Clubhouse guests. That's probably the better way. We want you all to come over to Clubhouse is the simple of it. But we got a few people up here, all YouTubers, all creating awesome content online. And I did see a comment brought up where it was a while back. It was like, where can I find you guys? I think the Pick and Preacher said it. So where can we find you all? What are your channels? What are your socials? Whether that be Clubhouse or whatnot. Where can we find you?
Well, I'll start then. My name on YouTube is Tech for Your Niece. So it's in the chat because I commented. I would just comment again, say quickly hi so y'all could see my name. And I do a mobile text channel. and it's based on how-to reviews and stuff like that for you average consumer on smartphone, tablet, and stuff like that. And then I'm all over social media, and the best audio social media for me is Clubhouse. With that, I'll bring it back to Colin.
I will type my name in the chat because my last name is very difficult to pronounce. So I will type it in the chat, but you can find me on all of the social medias as the same name. So I'll type it in the chat.
I too just posted a comment in the chat. You can find me on YouTube as Lalo Racer One. If you speak Spanish, you can watch some of my previous videos. I am very active right now in Clubhouse as well. Like literally, guys, if you guys want to talk to my boy Colin over here, if you guys have been longtime supporters of Colin and like honestly, like he's on there, like you can literally talk to him and it's so cool like how we can all communicate with each other. You will probably make a lot of amazing friendships, and you can think of it as like an always on dinner party where you can learn about any topic at any time, any point. You can meet people from all sorts of time zones all over the world, and it's just a wonderful place to be. I mean, literally it takes a few moments to create your account. You can just look up for Colin Michael, to look up for myself, as a Lalo. You can look up for Annette, for Luis, and we're on there like pretty much every day. Like probably if you follow us, if you follow Colin, you'll probably get a notification within 24 hours that he's talking in a room, and you can join in and you can, talk to him. So I think it's just like a no-brainer. I think especially last thing I'll say about Clubhouse, because I really want to stress this. We've heard the biggest creators, like say Mr. Beast, for example, say how it is so important to have a community of creators that are doing the same thing you are. So by going on Clubhouse, you meet a community of creators that talk YouTube every day. I mean, the amount of things that you're gonna learn and how you can accelerate your, learning curve, I think it's just so worth it. So I would get on it ASAP. Back to you, Colin.
Awesome. All right, we're at 57 minutes here. If you got any really quick final questions, you can drop them. I was about to call you guys moderators. I mean, you are kind of moderators. I think you all are moderators in the comment section on my channel. But fellow guests, do you have any final words before we close out this live stream?
I'll go first. Thank you for having me on here. It was a pleasure. It was a blast. And I hope to come back soon. And for everyone down in the chat, start making those shorts and sign up for Melon.
Let's go.
I'll say thanks for having me, and make sure on your endeavors on social media to learn the basics. When you go to the second building and you go second floor, your building doesn't collapse. I'm done. Back to you, Colin.
And I just want to say thank you, Colin, for having me. It's been an amazing pleasure, per usual. Yeah, guys, check us out on Clubhouse. Download Melon, sign up for Melon, because it's honestly a wonderful platform to go live. And I hope to be back, hopefully at some point, sometime, for another live stream. So thank you, Colin, and thank you, guys.
Let's go. And one more question, Lalo. Is that your new microphone?
Yeah. I just got it today. I love it already. Got to keep tweaking it up, but yeah.
Sweet. I just had to check because I knew you got that new what is it, Shure microphone. So cool
Yeah,
to see you using it
cool.
already.
All professional, all podcasty, like, I see you, Lalo.
Just like
I
Colin
see you
right
trying to
here,
be
you
like-
guys see that setup?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
trying to be
I
like
need to,
Roe
I need to,
Rogan.
I need to level up my game next time and bring like my microphone, my headphones. Like
Gotta do it.
I gotta look like the cool, the cool kids.
Oh, and you got the road going. There we go. We got all the fancy microphones
Hopefully,
going
you
on.
guys heard me. Can you guys hear me good? Because this is I'm working off of my MacBook
Loud and
Pro.
clear.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, MacBook's pretty good microphone. Yeah. All right. And with that, we will close out this live stream. Thank you all for being here. And we will catch you actually Friday. I have a crazy next week and a half ahead, but I will be live streaming Friday. So that's where the live stream will be moved till just temporarily until, 4 weeks. So I'll see you all Friday. Adios.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.